Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the glorious Quran, in Surah Tariq, chapter number 86, verse number 5 and 6, that we have created the human being from a drop coming from in between the backbone and the ribs. And today after science has advanced, we have come to know that the human being is created from a drop coming from a space between the spinal cord and the 11th and 12th rib. And during the initial stages of the development of the human being, we know that the genital organs in a man, the testes, they descend to the scrotum, and for the females, the ovaries, they descend down to the true pelvis. But the nerve supply, it yet comes from a space in between the backbone and the 11th and 12th rib. Between the spinal cord and the 11th and 12th rib. So what the glorious Quran mentions regarding this, it is in perfect conformity with modern science. And several other scientific facts, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, several other scientific facts have been mentioned in the glorious Quran. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the word nutfa, it is mentioned in the glorious Quran several times. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says that we have created the human beings from sulala. That is the best part of the whole. One of the meaning of sulala is the best part of the whole. And we know that out of the millions of sperms that want to fertilize, only one spermatozoa, one sperm out of the millions of sperms, it fertilizes. Referring to the best part of the whole. In the field of genetics, we know regarding the chromosomes that it is the 23rd pair of the chromosome which is responsible for determining the sex of the child. And it is a sperm which determines the sex of the child. So if it is XX, it is female. If it is XY, it is male. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the glorious Quran that we have created the human beings from minute quantity of liquid. In another place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we have created the human beings from a minute quantity of mingled fluid, referring to the male fluid and the female fluid and other surrounding fluids which are responsible for pregnancy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in the glorious Quran that we have created the human beings from a minute quantity of liquid which is ejaculated. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about all of these things 1400 years ago, which science has discovered it recently, only a few years back. But the glorious Quran mentions all of this 1400 years ago. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentions regarding the stages of the human beings and regarding the early stages of the human beings. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the glorious Quran in Surah Al-Insan, chapter number 76, verse number 2, that it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given the human being the hearing or the sense of hearing and of sight. This verse refers to the initial stages when the child is in the womb. And today, after science has advanced, we have come to know that the first sense that the child gets in the womb, it is the sense of hearing. And then it is the sense of sight. So first the ears, they start developing. They're developed approximately around the 4th month or the 5th month. And later on, the eyes split open around the 7th month. So first the hearing sense comes, and then later on the sense of sight, it develops. First hearing develops and then sight. And there was an experiment done of a child that was in the womb of the mother, and the mother was a typist, was a typewriter, the typewriter that we used to use. And she used to constantly use the typewriter when she was pregnant. And this baby, after it was born, it was placed with other 9 babies. And the mothers of these other 9 babies, the mothers, they were not typewriters. So when all these 10 babies were placed together, so the child whose mother was a typewriter, when the typewriter was being used, this child did not get scared. All the other babies, they got scared. Why? Because this child was used to hearing the mother using the typewriter while the child was in the womb. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions 1400 years ago that the first sense that is developed in the child, in the womb of the mother, it is hearing and then it is sight. That's the reason it is encouraged. The mother, when she is pregnant, she recites verses of the glorious Quran. It will have an impact on the baby. The more you hear the glorious Quran, when a woman is pregnant, it will have a good impact on the baby. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions regarding this 1400 years ago, which science has discovered it recently.